Well, hello, and here we are then, looking forward to match week 2 in the English Football League Championship, having just got our breath back from the excitement of the first weekend. And to be fair, I don't think it really disappointed. We had 40 goals across the matches, not a 0-0 in sight, or a couple of 1-0s admittedly in the mix, but by and large, a very exciting weekend of championship football. Some teams doing as you might expected, some teams certainly surprising us, which we'll reflect on as we go through the fixtures for the forthcoming weekend. The highlight obviously being the Leeds and Portsmouth game, which ended up 3-3, as I'm sure you know. That was a real humdinger. I think Leeds will probably be disappointed, but you can't be too disappointed if you let in 3 goals, however it went. But they did create a lot of chances, but didn't seal up at the back, and that's the problem. And there were a couple of other eye-opening scorelines. Oxford winning 2-0 against Norwich certainly took me by surprise. And on Monday night we had the battle of the relegated sides, and Burnley comfortably winning that by 4-1. So that immediately puts the pressure on Luton, you would think, just because they're expected to sort of get their feet under the table pretty quickly in the Championship, coming down with the sort of parachute payments and resources that they've got. But they may have chosen to go down a different way of assembling their team, and we shall see how it all pans out. So there are a few of the highlights. We shall look as we go through at some of the other teams, reflect on some of the other teams as well. But let's get stuck into this weekend's games then. Starting on Friday, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week, no Monday game. So we start on Friday night with Coventry City versus Oxford. Now, as I say, Oxford certainly made a few people raise their eyebrows by beating an established, in my view anyway, established championship side in Norwich City. So they turned them over by 2-0. I think, though, Coventry, having lost narrowly to Stoke, will 1-0, will want to put that behind them pretty quick and get a decent performance at home first up. So I think they will take the spoils, although Oxford will be confident after their win last week. Going away from home in the Championship against a good Coventry side will be a real challenge for them. But they may well rise to it once again. Who knows? I'm going to go, though, for a Coventry home win by 2-0. That takes us on to, there are 3 games on Saturday lunchtime, UK time, and the first of those is Derby County against Middlesbrough. Now, Derby gave sort of a good account of themselves in a way. They got 2 goals on the board at Blackburn, but were defensively frail throughout the match. I watched glimpses of it, and they didn't look too solid at all. Hence the 4-2 scoreline. Middlesbrough had an excellent win. First up, clean sheet, beating Swansea by 1-0. I think, though, Derby will have to sort of step up a little bit and realise the step in class, or the step in skill from League One up to the Championship. As I said in the season preview, the gaps between the divisions get wider each year. So they will need to sort of pep themselves up a little bit for their first home match. So I think they'll take the spoils in a 1-1 draw against Middlesbrough. The second of the 3 lunchtime games is Portsmouth versus Luton. Now, this is going to be a very interesting one to keep an eye on, or watch if you're able to. I think this will be a cracking game in front of a full-packed, expectant Portsmouth crowd, especially after the result last week, if not massively the performance. But it was a result no one expected them to get. They pulled off a point, could have been all 3, could have lost it as well in the last kick of the match. So a whole range of emotions for them to contend with. Luton will want to recover from their Burnley mauling, if you like. And I happen to think they might nick this. All the pressure will be on Portsmouth. Home game, first home game in the Championship for 7 seasons. So, yeah, it's a big day for them. 12:30 kickoff, but Luton's perhaps extra experience or extra level of skill that they bring down from the Premiership will hopefully for them anyway see them take the match, take the spoils. So Portsmouth 1, Luton 2, but a game not to be missed, I add. Then we have another eye-opening match, really. Any game involving Leeds is going to be high octane this season, I think, and it's another one that is one of a fixture against one of last year's sort of resident playoff teams, which was West Bromwich Albion. So Leeds will need to just steady the ship a little bit. Though it's not really rocking, is it? But you know what I mean. I think it was a jolt to them not to get the points, the full 3 points against Portsmouth, especially in the way they played. But as I say, defensively they were frail a little bit or found wanting at times, and I think that might be the case again against West Brom. Had an excellent 3-1 win at Queen's Park Rangers. I've tipped Queen's Park Rangers to be near the top or even win the top 6 this season. That may be somewhat foolhardy, but I just fancy the way they go about things under their new manager. So, however, so I'm going to say West Brom then against Leeds. A 2-2 draw, I think, here. Another exciting game for Leeds fans to endure, but I think another draw is on the cards. So West Brom 2, Leeds United 2. Then we go to the 3 o'clocks, and the first of those is Bristol City at home to Millwall. Bristol City had a decent away point against Hull on Saturday. Millwall had a 5-goal match, a 5-goal thriller, if you like. 5 goals equals that. And at home to Watford. I did tip Watford to win, but perhaps not in that sort of manner. So good for them. Millwall will take heart. They came back quite well in that match, but not well enough to get anything from it. And I think Bristol City, again, first game home, new signings to parade and all of that malarkey. They will want to perform well. Their home record last year was all a little bit dull. Because as you may recall, I do follow Bristol City quite closely. They are my team. And the performances were at times a bit dull, in my view. So they've tried to improve that by getting some new attacking signings on the pitch. So we'll see if that can remedy that. I think they'll take it. I think they'll edge the game. Bristol City 2, Millwall 1. On we go to the next 3 o'clock kickoff, and it's Burnley against Cardiff, and I can't really see anything here than a good solid home win for Burnley. Cardiff got off to a sticky start, as I sort of predicted at home to Sunderland. I thought they might slip up there, and Burnley will be buoyant after their wonderful win at Luton earlier in the week. So routine for me: Burnley 3, Cardiff City 0. Then we have Norwich and Blackburn. Now, Norwich will have definitely been jolted by a comfortable loss to Oxford. They want to put that behind them very quickly. A chance to at home. They're usually pretty good at home. They play good football. They always look to be on the front foot, attack the opposition. So I'm going to say it's Norwich and Blackburn. As I say, Blackburn had an excellent 4-0 win to start, a 4-2 win, to start proceedings off on the last Friday night, one of the 2 matches played. And Blackburn, yeah, they'll have been buoyed by that. A lot of people have got them to be near the bottom. I'm not so sure. I don't know. I think I did put them in the bottom 6, 7. But you've got it's just so congested in that middle section. Anybody could slip down into that area. So Norwich and Blackburn. Norwich to have a decent home win here. Norwich 2, Blackburn 0. Now we have Plymouth Argyle against Hull City, and Plymouth couldn't have got off to a worse start for themselves and for obviously manager Wayne Rooney, who as Plymouth suffered a 4-0 defeat at Sheffield Wednesday. It's never an easy place to go, really, Sheffield Wednesday. I know they didn't do so well last year, but they pack them in up there, nearly 30,000, 40,000, whatever it is. And it really is a daunting prospect to go and play in that atmosphere. And Plymouth fell away, unfortunately. and lost by 4-0. So they'll want to put that right pretty quickly, as will Wayne Rooney, because I think we always read now that it's Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle. That's the new, almost a new team name. They always link it. The press or media always link it every time they refer to Plymouth these days. That's the way it is. That's what it brings. That's what the Rooney factor brings. Hull City, as I say, had a decent home point against Bristol City. Came back from 1-0 down, got a penalty late on, and I don't think that was undeserved from what I picked up. So I think it will be Plymouth digging in and getting a point. Hull, a long journey for them, but they're used to that too. So I'm going to go Plymouth 1, Hull City 1. Next up, we have, on Saturday, still Sheffield United versus Queen's Park Rangers. Now, Sheffield United really pulled out an excellent win up at Preston. And there's the first managerial, I should have mentioned that earlier on, of course. We've had the first managerial casualty already. Preston's manager, Ryan Lowe, mutually agreeing to be sacked. So I think it's really how it goes after one game. So yeah, I never quite get that. There must have been signs in the pre-season that things weren't right. You don't, even if I know Ryan Lowe was under pressure last year anyway. We're not talking about Preston at the minute, but just to allude to that there has been the first managerial casualty. So Sheffield United went to Preston and caused the axe to fall on Ryan Lowe, unfortunately, by an excellent 2-0 win. It takes, as I say, it's not easy to come down from the Premiership and get that motivation straight away in the lower league when you've got to go through it all again to get the prize. Queen's Park Rangers, as I say, I think they will show signs of improvement. They came second to West Brom on Saturday, but I think they will show signs of improvement, and I think this will be a good game. I'm going to go Sheffield United 2, Queen's Park Rangers 2 for an entertaining draw. 3 to go. And we have Swansea against Preston. Now, will Preston's off-the-field issues increase their poor start to the season, or develop it to be a poor start? Losing one game isn't a poor start, but 2 becomes 3 very quickly if you're not careful. And I think Swansea narrowly lost to Middlesbrough 1-0 at last weekend. So I think home advantage against the Preston side, perhaps in a bit of a upset. Things aren't obviously great off the field there at the moment. So I'm going to go Swansea 2, Preston North End 0. For that one, Swansea to take the points. Then we have Watford against Stoke. Watford, as I say, entertaining 3-2 win at Millwall. Take on Stoke, who narrowly had that home win against Coventry. Very good win, that. I don't think there'll be much between these two sides. And I think it's going to be the first 0-0 of the Championship season. So there we go. Watford 0, Stoke 0, a point each. And finally, on Sunday, the final game of this match, weekend number 2, it's Sunderland against Sheffield Wednesday. And Sunderland had an excellent win at Cardiff, as I say. And I think they, in front of a packed, again, expectant crowd, they get up there, they get mass ranks up there, very passionate fan base. As of Sheffield Wednesday, it's going to be a cracking atmosphere, this one. A real game to watch if you can clear the decks for Sunday lunchtime, midday UK time. And I think Sunderland, with their passionate fans, on the back of the win last week, and things seem to be at last for them settling down off the field, will run out winners on this one. Sunderland 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. So there we have it. Let's see how all that unfolds. Looking forward to it, as always. No midweek games next week, so I will be back again doing one of these little prediction clips sometime next week ahead of match day 3 or week 3. So will we repeat the 40 goals and all the entertainment we had in week 1? We shall see. I hope you have a great weekend, and whatever football you're watching, please enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe, like the channel. Please inform your friends and family, get them involved, have a bit of fun with yourself, own predictions at home. And that's what it is. I keep saying you won't find me taking any of this too seriously. Football, as I say, there's more serious things going on in the world than football, so let's have a bit of fun. Enjoy the weekend, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.